Sports fans, hold on to your terrible towels and get ready for a jolt. We're diving headfirst into a trade proposal that is so audacious, so potentially game-changing, it might just make you spill your coffee. Are you prepared for a move that could completely redefine the Pittsburgh Steelers offense and shake up the NFC South? Because what I'm about to tell you involves a Pro Bowl tight end who hasn't quite hit his stride since his rookie year, and a veteran quarterback coming off a significant injury and a massive contract move. This isn't just talk. It's a concrete proposal laid out by a respected voice in the NFL world. Get ready to ask yourself, is this a stroke of genius or sheer madness? Let's break it down. For years, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been known for their defense, their grit, and their ability to find ways to win ugly. But let's be honest, the offense has often felt like it's been stuck in neutral or maybe even reverse, especially when it comes to consistent playmaking outside of a few key players. We've seen flashes, sure, but the kind of explosive, dynamic attack that truly threatens defenses week in and week out, it's been missing. While they landed a proven weapon in DK Metcalf, a fantastic addition, no doubt, the need for more pass-catching threats is glaringly obvious. The rumor mill has been buzzing about potential receiver acquisitions, and even whispers of Pro Bowl tight end Jonnu Smith and the Dolphins have surfaced. But forget whispers. This new proposal is a full-blown roar. Meanwhile, down in Atlanta, the Falcons have been navigating their own set of challenges. They invested heavily in tight end Kyle Pitts with the 4th overall pick in 2021, and while his rookie season showed flashes of absolute brilliance, he hasn't quite replicated that elite production since. There's no denying the talent. The physical gifts are off the charts, but the consistent output hasn't been there. Add to that the quarterback situation. They just signed Kirk Cousins to a hefty deal, but moving him after June 1st offers significant salary cap relief, a cool $27.5 million, to be exact. This created a fascinating dynamic, a team with a talented player who hasn't fully panned out and a quarterback whose financial situation becomes much more flexible post-June 1st. Now, here's where the fireworks begin. Christopher Knox over at Bleacher Report has put forth a trade proposal that is, frankly, eye-popping. He suggests the Pittsburgh Steelers make a massive move to acquire both Atlanta Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts and quarterback Kirk Cousins. Yes, you heard that right. Pitts and Cousins heading to the Steel City. So, what would it cost the Steelers to pull off such a dramatic offensive overhaul? According to Knox's proposal, Pittsburgh would send the Falcons a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, along with a 4th-round pick in the 2027 Draft. Let's dissect this from a Falcons' perspective first. Why would they do this? Knox argues that Pitts, who hasn't hit his rookie heights and is entering the final year of his contract, unless the 5th-year option was picked up, which is still a question mark in some discussions, but the point remains he's not under a long-term deal yet, isn't likely to fetch a standalone 2nd-round pick in a trade. By packaging him with Cousins, the Falcons achieved 2 major goals. They offload Cousins' contract after the June 1st mark, saving that significant $27.5 million in cap space, and they managed to secure a 2nd-round pick plus additional draft capital for Pitts, who otherwise might not command that price alone. It's a way for Atlanta to reset, gain flexibility, and acquire future assets. From a purely financial and asset management standpoint, you can see the logic for the Falcons, especially if they're ready to move on from the current regime's big swings. But now, let's turn the magnifying glass onto the Pittsburgh Steelers, because this is where things get really interesting and perhaps a little controversial. The Steelers' quarterback situation has been a constant topic of debate. Mason Rudolph is currently listed as QB1, but the widespread expectation, as noted by folks like Jarrett Bailey, who lives and breathes Steelers football, is that the team is gearing up for a significant move for a signal caller, potentially targeting the 2026 draft class where many analysts see top-tier talent. This strategy hinges on accumulating and preserving draft capital, specifically high-round picks, to potentially trade up for their guy, and that's where the proposed cost in this trade, particularly giving up a 2026 2nd-round pick, clashes directly with that apparent long-term plan. Jarrett Bailey, the deputy editor for Behind the Steel Curtain and an NFL contributor for the Sporting News, points this out quite emphatically. Giving up a valuable 2nd-round pick for an older quarterback like Kirk Cousins, who is coming off a down year, partially due to injury, yes, but still a down year, Seems counterintuitive to a strategy focused on saving capital for a future draft day trade-up at the most important position on the field. Now, I know what you're thinking, but they're getting Kyle Pitts too. And absolutely, that's a huge part of the appeal. Kyle Pitts, at his best, is a unicorn, a tight end with receiver speed and size, a matchup nightmare. Pairing him with DK Metcalf would give the Steelers two legitimate, high-upside pass catchers, something they desperately need. Imagine the possibilities. Pitts stretching the seam, Metcalf winning outside. It's tantalizing. However, the question remains, is acquiring Pitts worth paying the price for Cousins as well? Is a combined package, specifically the inclusion of that 2026 second-rounder, too steep a price for a team that seems to be prioritizing future draft capital for the quarterback position? Cousins could bounce back in 2025? Absolutely. He's a proven veteran, capable of putting up good numbers. But he's also older, coming off a major injury, and his long-term fit in Pittsburgh is uncertain, especially if the plan is truly to draft a QB high in 2026. This proposal forces the Steelers to evaluate their priorities. Do they deviate from the perceived 2026 draft plan to acquire immediate, albeit potentially risky, offensive firepower in Pitts and a veteran bridge QB in Cousins? Or do they stick to the script, preserve their draft capital, and look for offensive help through other avenues, perhaps less splashy but more aligned with their long-term vision? It's a fascinating hypothetical, isn't it? It highlights the Steelers' clear need for offensive talent and the Falcons' potential desire to reset financially and acquire assets. It also underscores the critical strategic decision Pittsburgh faces regarding its quarterback future and the value it places on draft capital versus immediate veteran additions. So, what does this all mean? It means the NFL offseason remains a wild ride. Trade proposals like this, even if they never come to fruition, show us the creative thinking happening behind the scenes and the potential paths teams could take. It's a stark reminder of the needs on both sides and the complex dance of roster building, cap management, and future planning. What a concept. It's the kind of move that could redefine an offseason for two franchises. But what do you think? Is this trade a dream scenario that finally gives the Steelers the offensive weapons they crave, even at that cost? Or is it a nightmare waiting to happen, sacrificing crucial future assets for short-term gain? Let me know your take in the comments below. I want to hear if you'd pull the trigger on this deal if you were the Steelers GM. And if you're as fired up about this possibility as I am, or even if you think it's completely bonkers, smash that like button. It helps us know you're enjoying the deep dives into the NFL's most intriguing possibilities. We'll keep digging into every rumor, every proposal, every piece of news that could impact your favorite teams. So make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on so you don't miss a single update. Until next time, keep the faith and keep those trade machines humming.